All right. Hey, my friends, and welcome to this episode. Today, we're going to talk about the trap of gathering information. And so for those who don't know me, my name is Matt Codde. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm the founder of Restored Minds and the creator of the AAA Response. And if you could please help us out by liking and subscribing, as well as leaving a nice comment or review on iTunes and Spotify, I would very much appreciate it. And if you're looking for help with OCD and anxiety and you're looking for guidance on how to break out of the loop, please check out the links in the notes and either get started with my book, From Stuck to Unstuck, or fill out an application for our 12-week program, Taking Back Control. So today, as we dive in, I want to talk about the trap of information gathering. And this is something I see people get stuck in a lot. And, in some ways, even this podcast and this, or videos we create on YouTube can be detrimental to some degree if someone's using them in the context that I'm describing here, right? So the purposes for this show is to really get, yes, awareness and information to people, but really it's about what you do with the information that's going to produce results. And getting guidance and accountability and coaching on implementing what you learn here is going to be very valuable and very important for your success. And I try to be as clear and transparent about that as I possibly can. But one of the things that happens is people get caught in the information trap, meaning they think that if I just gather and get more information, I'll finally come to this realization where everything will click and I'll just dissolve the OCD and anxiety loop. So they jump from podcast to podcast, from book to book, right, to, workshop to workshop. And they kind of almost become like information junkies, if you will. I mean, I'll use that term. I know it's a bit pejorative, but I'll use that term just because it's kind of like this hit that you get, from, oh, I got some new information, right? And this is, when you really get this idea that anxiety and OCD exist in this loop because of behaviors, and this really is addressed as a behavioral issue, then you begin to look at it in the context of other behavioral modification, problems, right? So, in this episode today, I'm going to use the cross comparison of dieting and exercise. And I use it a lot. And the reason I do, and sometimes people think that it's like this huge jump, but it's really not. It's like, it's a behavior change, right? That gets certain results. And in the case of diet and exercise, we're changing behavior to create better health in our bodies. And in the case of OCD and anxiety, we're using behavior change to create better health in our, in our bodies as well. We're just doing it from an emotional and psychological perspective. So when you chase information, I think the belief that oftentimes is underneath that is, if I have the right information, then everything will work out. Like essentially the problem will be solved. And so there's this pursuit of information. And then there's also this belief that because I'm gathering information, I'm doing something towards getting better. So we assume that it's productive to continue information gathering. And that's why you'll see people like just bounce from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And really, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road, still be dealing with the same exact problem that they're having, And when it comes to really breaking out of this loop, it's not the information gathering, or the information acquiring, I should say, is really, just let's call it 20% of the work. Let's just say the 80-20 rule, right? The information is that 20%. 80% of your results are going to come from applying the information and implementing what you learn into your life. And so we'll equate this with dieting, right? It's kind of like the person who bounces from fad diet to fad diet to fad diet, or just constantly is reading about diet and exercise without ever actually dieting and exercising. or kind of half-heartedly doing it. I saw this one recipe in this diet book, and kind of looking at it from that perspective and trying like certain recipes here and there, but not really fully committing to it. And because they read about it all the time, they assume, well, I'm doing the right stuff. But then if you just ask yourself in that context, who's going to get better results? And let's say you have two people and their objective is to lose 50 pounds. And that would put them into a healthy BMI, right? We're not just losing 50 pounds to lose it. Let's say both people literally are 50 pounds over what their body mass index should be. So they're trying to lose 50 pounds. Who's going to have more success? And in person one, you'll have the person that just information gathers, right? So they watch a whole bunch of stuff on, YouTube or podcasts. They read a whole bunch of books on it, and they just go from trying this diet to this diet to this diet to this diet. And they tried, let's say, 5 different diets in the span of 6 months, and they work out kind of an intermittent basis. And at the end of the day, they are just really spending most of their time acquiring information. Versus someone who is trying to lose weight or, wants to lose the 50 pounds and says, okay, hey, look, there's this 6-month program, and they, number one, invest in it, right? So they have skin in the game. Number two, they go through the information process of really understanding what they need to do, understanding why this program is the way it is, which any program should involve, of just really understanding why. And then they just fully commit to it. Along with that, they get accountability, they get guidance, and they just, every day they spend implementing what they learn for 6 months. Out of those two people, who's most likely to get the best results? And the answer is pretty obvious. It's the latter. The person who puts skin in the game is more worried about doing and implementing because even if they implement even 75% correctly, they're going to get way better results than just learning new stuff, right? And what we need to understand about this work with OCD and anxiety is information gathering is a very hamster wheel activity, in the sense of like, you can always go read another blog, and you can always go watch even my videos and podcasts, to be transparent, right? If you're using it just to get reassurance or you feel like it's being productive just watching or listening to something, you really should consider not doing that. And I know I'm probably the only person that's going to produce content out there that's going to say something like that, but it's like, when you think about it, it's very practical. It's just like, this exists to get you to the point where you kind of understand what the problem is. And then, yes, we want to make sure you understand what the solution is. And obviously I'm a big proponent of the AAA response, but then it's about putting that into practice. Like, that's why TBC exists. That's why our groups exist, our coaching exists. It's like, because putting it into practice and implementing what you learn is what's going to get results. This is, if you really understand it from a behavioral modification standpoint, that is what is going to produce the best results. And the more skin you have in the game, the more guidance and accountability and coaching and support you have, the more you have that stuff while you're implementing it, the better off you're going to be. And it's just like anything else in life. So the trap of information, like I said, is rooted in this idea that there's this one answer that I'm going to find that's going to prevent me from doing all the hard work that I know I need to do. And then secondly, that gathering information is helping me. And it's like, and I would say, to a certain degree, like eventually there's not a point of no return, but the phrase is escaping me right now, but essentially a point of diminishing return is what I was trying to say, where eventually it's like, you don't need more information. What you need to do is start implementing it, because once we really get what we need to do, then it's about putting it into practice, and that's what's going to produce results. So the trap that I just want to kind of bring awareness to in this episode is this information gathering. And really what I want to encourage is really implementing what you're learning in your life, because that's what's going to be producing the best results. And the more you can do that by, again, with guidance, with accountability, with support, and really committing to a process and a step-by-step approach, it's just going to be much better results than just than kind of staying in the information gathering hamster wheel, so to speak. So hope that was helpful. And I hope, and again, it's like, I'm saying this because I stayed in that for a long time, by the way. This is not by any means like judgmental. It's just a reality that I see happening. And I want to shine light on it, because once we become aware of something, we can begin to change it. So hope that was helpful. And again, with that, if you're looking for resources and guidance, look at in the notes of the episode. We have some links for you that will take you, over to restoredminds.com, or you can just head over to our site. Also, we have our new app that we just released. Really excited about that. Right now, it's in the Apple Store. Will be in the Google Play Store as well shortly. So, and that's going to correspond with the whole program on the site as well. So, all that to say, hope you guys have a wonderful week. Wish you guys the best. And and please reach out and connect with us if you're looking for help. So talk to you guys soon, and have a great day. Hey there. So if you enjoyed that video, we've linked up a few more videos that we think you'd find helpful as well. And if you have found this helpful, we'd really appreciate your support by liking and subscribing. And if you're looking for help and guidance, please check out restoredminds.com, as we have several options for you to get started. See you guys soon.